Hi, my name's Jackie Topa. I've been getting a lot of requests for a tutorial for my sidestep dresser card. This was one of my swaps for convention, and so I'm going to show you how to do that. I did a few variations of it, so I'll show you some of those as we go. This was my first one, but I had to simplify it a little bit. Okay, you need to start with a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 cardstock. And you are going to cut it down the center. Hopefully I'm centered there. Okay. Cut it down the center, which is at the 2 3/4 mark. Now you're going to start your cut at 1 inch, and you're going to stop at 5 1/4. If you're doing a whole bunch of these, like for a class or something, if you're cutting them, put a piece of Scotch tape across, and then you'll know, so you don't have to keep looking for your measurements. It was an easy guideline. So, okay, then you want to score it just up to the cut mark. I can never find my bone folder, so I'm going to use this. Just up to the cut mark, 1 inch in from the edge. And this one, 2 inches in from the edge. So you've got 2 marks there. So this makes the sidestep card really easy to fold up. Okay, so you don't need any other measurements. Just fold those 2. Line up your bottoms. And you're done. Now that saves you scoring all these top ones, because sometimes they end up being odd measurements. And that's the base for your dresser card. So to make it look like a dresser, I used the curly label punch and lined up the center. Punch that out. And if you want something decorative, use one of your border punches on the other side. Punch that out. And that's it. And then you're going to put your drawers on. Okay. I like to sponge all the way around the outside too, so you need 3 pieces, 3/4 of an inch by 2 inches, and you're going to poke a hole in them. Those are my extras. So you're going to poke a hole in them. I sponged around the edges. When I'm doing tone on tone, even for punch art, if you sponge it, it really makes a difference as far as letting it stand out. Okay, so you put your brad in there. Now for the drawers, I put my scissors in there, so I want it to stick up a little. So I use my scissors for a spacer, just so it has a little bit of, stands out a little. I'm sure these are a nightmare to mail, but okay, now one of my drawers, I've got the other 2 finished already, so I'm going to show you the one with, I put a little piece of lace on it. My sticky strip. If you ever have trouble finding the end of your sticky strip, if you take one of your scraps and just keep it under there, it really helps. Okay. So just put a little piece of sticky strip. Oops. Over the edge like that. Peel off the red, and it sticks to you so nicely. And cut a little piece of lace. I love this Victoria lace. It's beautiful. So I'm going to cut a little piece. And just put it over the edge of your drawer. There. And it just sort of looks like it's something hanging out of your dresser. Okay. And I have some, you can use dimensionals on the back. I like to use weather stripping. I buy it at the dollar store in the hardware section, and then I just run my marker on the flat side of my marker around the outside if I'm using a dark color. On the white ones you don't have to do that. So I'll put that on the back of my drawer. And put it on the dresser. Now I've sponged around the outsides of my dresser too. I don't think I leave anything unsponged, so Okay, that's going to be my top drawer. So I'll center that. Put it on. There. Now you've got a lot of options for embellishing these, so I'm just going to show you one of them here. I took a piece of Designer Series paper. This is the print, Designer Series newsprint, I think it's called. I cut it 2.5 by 2.5, and I'm going to just glue it on. It looked better matted, so the mat, after I cut the edge off, was a little smaller than. So the mat is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, the black mat. And pokey. I took a 7-inch piece of the Victoria lace, and then I just cut the edges. And if you fold it like that, and I usually just wrap a piece of sticky strip on it. It's all sticking to me. Just so I know it's going to stay. It makes it a little easier to work with too. If you can get the sticky strip off. That's the other challenge. And it's not going to work. Alright, there it goes. Okay. Just kind of wrap that around. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to have my brad holding it. So then I take my brad, split the back of your brad, and put it, make sure I'm in the center of the camera here, and you just put it around the back like that. And then put it through the hole. And kind of play with it until you get it where you want it. Oops. And there. This lace is so nice to work with. I'm going to put that on my card on the back here. I use Tombow for everything. People always ask me what my favorite adhesive is, and it would be Tombow. So you can get out a little bit or a lot and your stuff holds. Okay, and then for the inside, I just did a little sentiment card. The ivory is 2 inches by 4 inches, and the cherry cobbler is 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. So you can make that whatever size you want, and I usually try and keep it up a little too so it doesn't show in my little dresser. And that's how you make a side step dresser card. I'll show you a couple other versions. Now this one, I did a few of the clothing ones with clothes, and you just take a 2 or 3 of the word windows and put a brad in it, and then I made these little hangers. Oops. So whatever clothing I use, I just put behind the clothing. This is the wheel cut out, and I also want to show you how to do, if you're doing a double drawer like this one. Here's an easy way to get them straight. You take all 3 of your drawers and stack them together. And then where you think you want one handle, just eyeball it, and poke through all 3 layers. And take one of the layers and flip them. And then use that hole as a guide. And still keeping them together, use that hole as a guide. So then when you're done, all 3 will be the same on both ends and centered. So here's a couple other. This was another one I did, the girls one. I ran out of the vintage brads. I've been using them so much. And here's one more. So this is the boys' clothing from the Build-A-Bear brad. And this was the girls' clothing. I cut down her dress a little bit so it would look like an older girl's dress. So have fun with those. I hope I explained that easy enough, and good luck with them.